friends. Today we're going to be repotting a plant, and this is part of the botany unit where we're going to discover the roots and the parts of a plant. And in order for us to look at the roots, we're going to repot it because it is ready for a bigger pot. So I'm really excited to do that today. We have our trusty cactus that we'll be using today. This is either a Christmas or a Easter cactus. I'm not quite sure which one. I would assume it's Easter cactus because it's blooming, and it usually blooms based on the name of the plant. So if it's Easter cactus, it would be blooming around Easter. If it is a Christmas cactus, it would be blooming around Christmas, but that's not always true. So I believe this is an Easter cactus. Hopefully I can identify that in another video just to be sure. And what we're going to be doing is taking it out of its pot. So I'm fully prepared to make a massive mess here. I have no worries with that. However, if you are repotting a plant, just be mindful that it is going to make a mess. So have an area of your house or outside. Unfortunately, it's snowing outside right now, so I'm not doing it outside. But make sure you have an area of your house that is not, I guess you can easily clean up. So here's our plant. And I also have a planter or a pot that I'll be using. And I actually repurposed this. It's a pancake batter dispenser, and I cemented the bottom shut so that nothing will come out of the bottom. But I found this in a garbage, and I said, you know what? This would make a really cute planter. And so I'm going to be putting our plant inside of this today. So in order for us to get the full benefit of repotting a plant, I'm showing you how small the other one is. This is quite little, but the soil is very wet. I watered this plant 2 days ago on accident. I did not think about making this video, so it is dripping everywhere, but that's okay because I'll be able to clean it up. But in order to get the full benefits, like I was saying, we are going to deconstruct this plant, take all the soil off of it, take all of, expose all the roots, and we'll be able to go through the parts of a plant. Which is really exciting. And then it'll have a nice new little home. So stay tuned, and we are going to be taking all the soil off of this. So I'm going to start by breaking apart the soil. Okay, now there's roots in here, obviously, that are how the plant drinks its water and how it absorbs all of its nutrients. So as I break apart the soil, we're going to be able to start seeing some of those roots. Now I want to be really careful to not break any of the roots because that can damage the plant, and we don't really want to do that. We're already kind of putting the plant through a lot of shock right now by replanting it. So in order for us to make sure that this plant stays nice and healthy, see there's some roots there. They got a lot of dirt on them. In order for our plant to stay healthy, we have to make sure that we're keeping the roots healthy too. That's a really important part of a plant. And so I'm just going to be working on this, on getting the soil off. I'm just breaking it apart and putting it inside of our new pot because it'll be nice for the plant to have some soil that it's used to. Soils have different pH, and what that means is it can be acidic or basic, and those are big words just to say that each and every soil is just a little bit different, and each plant likes their soil a little bit different. And so I don't want to shock the plant, and putting all new soil could possibly shock the plant. So here we have roots, and we're getting there. We're getting somewhere because as you can start to see, this is actually two separate plants, which is really cool. It kind of just decided to bloom and grow two separate ways. So I'm being a little bit less delicate than I would like to be by taking the soil off, but we're almost there. I'm not going to be able to get all of the soil off because, well, as you can see, it's a lot. And so as you can see here, though, here's one plant and here's the other, which is really cool. I didn't know I had two plants here. I thought it was just one. I love fun discoveries like that. And we're getting somewhere. Oh. I'm going to set this friend aside because we're just going to work with this one. And I'm gonna rinse the water off. I'm sorry, the dirt off, because then we'll be able to see all of the nice fun roots on this friend. Here we have one of the plants completely separated from the other two plants. However, this doesn't look like a classic parts of a plant diagram that most of you may have seen, where it says the leaves, branches, and stems. It's very different. So I will be using a picture that I drew instead to label parts of a plant. The leaves are part of the plant that are thin, flat, and often wide. The leaves have veins. The leaves are usually green. Leaves usually grow from the stem. The stem is the part of the plant that grows upward. The stem connects the root with the bud, leaves, flowers, and fruit. The stem of a tree is called a trunk. The axis of the plant is the central part that supports the plant. The branches and leaves are arranged around the axis. The axis causes the plant to grow in a straight vertical line. The root is usually the underground part of the plant. The root serves as support for the plant. The root draws food and water from the surrounding soil. The root may store food as well. The branches are the part of the plant that is woody. The branch grows from the main stem of the tree, bush, or shrub. One branch may grow from another branch. We've already discussed the parts of a plant, but now we're going to just be repotting it. And so I have my trusty pot here. Okay, so it's not the best view, but we do have our plant here with the dirt that we separated from one of our friends here, and the other friend is just sitting nicely inside of this pot. These are some nice healthy roots that we already talked about, and I am going to be placing this friend in here and repotting the plant. I'm really excited to do this because I just think this is going to be so cute in this little planter. I am going to put it on both sides here. One side's going to have the one and the other side's going to have the other, because I do have this giant piece of metal in the middle, which is not going to make it easy for me to pot this plant, but that's all right. And I guess the next step is really, if you want to get your hands dirty, get your hands dirty. If not, use a cup that you can wash afterwards. So I'm just right now just putting the soil inside of the planter. I'm going to fill it up about halfway, and then I'm going to place my friends inside. So this is an easier way to plant instead of having to dig a hole to put your plant. Once you put all the soil in there, this is just a much easier way to do it. It looks like this friend kind of wants to stretch that way. Plants, we've already learned, have a mind of their own and will do what they want. Now I am just placing some dirt over the roots that are exposed, because I didn't bury them in the dirt that was already there. So we are going to have all the roots covered by the end of this. You know what? I think I have 3 separate plants. It's a magical time over here because I love plants. And yep, see how separate these are right here? That means that they are 3 separate plants, which is really exciting because that's like getting a deal. It's like a 3-for-1 deal. I paid for 1 plant and I got 3. And so you can kind of see me breaking apart some roots. That's okay. There's so many roots still on both of them, so where it's going to be totally fine. So this friend is going to be so happy in this new pot because it's going to be able to stretch its roots. It's going to be able to get bigger and healthier. When plants are stuck in their pot for too long, they start to be stunted. And what that means is that their growth kind of just stops. Because they don't have anywhere to go. It's like being stuck in your tennis shoes for too long and your toes start to hurt when your feet are growing. It's the same thing for plants. Imagine their roots are like your little toes that are starting to hurt. So we want to make sure that they have all the room to grow. It does look like quite a bit of a mess right now that I'm doing. Here we are. And as you can see, I'm just kind of being a little bit messy with it, but that's all right because I am going to clean this all up when I'm done. But I'm just planting in my fun little friends, and I'm going to press the soil down as I go so that they are nice and stable inside of the pot. Oh, that was a mistake. That was a big mess. All right. Okay, so I'm getting to the end where I don't know if I need to add any more soil. I'm gonna try and clean this up a little bit for the camera view. Okay, all right. And there we have it. It's really that easy to repot a plant. I'm gonna try and get a good picture of this now. Here is the plant all potted up. Excuse my nails. I will have to wash my hands when I'm all done. But you can see that we have one cactus plant, two cactus plants, and then the third one behind it. And they're all inside of this nice little planter that I repurposed and made out of garbage, which is really exciting. It has a nice little handle, so if I wanted to hang it, I could. I'm not going to hang it because it's kind of heavy, so I'm just going to set it by a nice window to get some light. But as you can see, one thing I wanted to point out was the idea that this plant doesn't have the classic stem that we think of often when we think of plants. This plant is just from leaf to leaf. And so I'll have to do more research trying to figure out if that's considered a stem within the leaf. I don't really know. If any of you friends have any ideas, reach out to me and let me know. But I'm excited to do further research on this plant. And then we're going to be talking about the flower of this plant pretty soon. Thank you so much for going on that journey with me of potting a plant, and it is recording time now. So I know most of that video was just me potting a plant, but we do have some things that we can record. We did go over the parts of a plant in the middle of the video, so if you would like to record the parts of a plant, you can do 3-part cards, or you can make a diagram. As always, if you think of a creative way to record that work, go for it. I'm excited to see what you create. See you guys later.